Hello everyone, welcome to English lecture. Today I'm going to give you the explanation from your Prime English lesson number 7, lesson name Cranes for Sadako. Now, before giving you the explanation of the chapter, let's have a little gist about the story. On 6 August 1945, the world witnessed the highest number of deaths on a single day in a man made disaster in history. On this day, the United States dropped a nuclear bomb on Hiroshima and 3 days later, another one on Nagasaki, which led to the eventual surrender of Japan and ignominious end to the Second World War. Student, you must have heard about the Hiroshima Nagasaki disastrous bomb, which was held on 6 August 1945. It was the most disastrous bomb which was broken on during the 1945 time. Now, let's begin. Let us read a news article about a girl, Sadako Sasaki, who became one of the most widely known Hibekashu, a Japanese term for the surviving victims of the two atomic bombings. Perhaps the most well-known origami model is the crane. It has become the international symbol of peace. Now student, we'll come to know in this chapter that how an origami model crane became the international symbol of peace. In Japan, nearly every child eventually learns to make the crane. Eleanor Kaur is credited with popularizing the crane with her book Sadako and 1000 Paper Cranes, a book which tells the story of Sadako Sasaki. Sadako's story is about war, radiation, peace, and determination. To this day, she remains a symbol of innocent victims of war, no matter where they are from. On August 6, 1945, around 8:15 am, the uranium atom bomb exploded 580 meters above the city of Hiroshima with a blinding flash, creating a giant fireball and sending surface temperatures to 4000 Celsius by 7232 Fahrenheit. It is hot enough to melt concrete and steel. Now you can see that how disastrous this atomic bomb was. Fierce heat rays and radiation burst out in every direction, unleashing a high pressure shock wave, vaporizing tens of thousands of people and animals, melting buildings and streetcars, reducing a 400-year-old city to dust. Students, can you see in the image? I have given you the clear picture through which you can see that this bomb and this war was so disastrous. The city was leveled. There were very few buildings with foundations of steel and stone. Anyone who wasn't instantly vaporized had been hit by the explosive blast and then a firestorm. The survivors could then die from the effects of radiation in the next few minutes, months, or years. It is to be believed that that bomb is carrying a disastrous disease which is harmful for the upcoming young generation and for the future of Japan. The dead left permanent shadows on walls as adults and children were incarnated instantly by the heat and their bones charred into brittle charcoal. Within seconds, 75,000 people had been killed or fatally injured instantly, with 65% of the casualties being 9 years of age and younger. 70,000 additional people were injured. It is the largest death toll ever caused by a single weapon, and the number still grows decades later. As exposure to radiation kills many of the survivors of the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the form of cancers and other effects. Yes, student, that bomb is carrying a lot of disastrous diseases like cancer, which even had affect the upcoming young generation. And the story is about Sadako Sasaki, who was also suffering from this disease, that is leukemia. It is she was also suffering a kind of a cancer. Radiation death continued in large numbers in the following days. The few surviving doctors were trying to deal with radiation sickness in over 70,000 urgent patients when no research or treatment yet existed, and all the stored medicine were burnt. The surviving doctors immediately built the first laboratory to study the effect of dose of radiation on human beings. They needed to learn how to treat a new illness that humanity had not faced before, radiation sickness. Now, student, radiation sickness is a kind of disease as it is a live example we are facing nowadays, like COVID-19. It has come from Wuhan, China, and it is also a kind of a. It is said that it is a kind of a biological weapon, but it is anyhow affecting our economic condition, our life, our education. Everything is getting disastrous because of this COVID-19. In the same way, the way all over the world COVID people are suffering from COVID 19. In the same way, in Japan, on August 6, 1945, this kind of disease, radiation sickness, has caused among the people, and the doctors and even the scientists doesn't know the solution of this problem. They have created a laboratory. They want to search out the issue, the problem, and the vaccine for the cure of this disease. 10 years later, a young, vibrant, energetic girl who loves running, the fastest child in her class, is about to graduate from elementary school, and she was. One day after a race, she collapsed, and she collapsed again at school a few weeks later. Yes, student, she is none other than Sadako Sasaki. In November 1954, Sadako developed swellings on her neck and behind her ears. 2 months later, purple spots had formed on her legs. Sadako was diagnosed with leukemia. Leukemia is a cancer of blood cells. Yes, she was diagnosed with this disease, also referred to by her mother as an atom bomb disease. Can you see the image of Sasaki? According to one version of the story, while she was in the hospital, her best friend Chisco Chisco Hamamoto came to the hospital to visit and cut a gold piece of paper into a square to fold it into a paper crane and taught Sadako of an old folk tale. Yes, her friend Chisco came to the hospital to visit her, to meet her. She made a square paper and made from that paper she made a crane, and then she told a old tale to her. It's an old story. To really feel better, you have to make them them means screens, but they saw that if you fold 1,000 paper cranes, the god will be happy and they'll grant you a wish. Chisco told Sadako that the crane is a symbol of health, long life, and peace, and that if Sadako can make 1,000 crane, she will be well. Now, this is an old story. This is an old story which her friend is narrating to Sadako, so that she can feel little motivated and little good, and she can come up with the issue she was facing. Now, when when she has been picked to she was facing for this issue and this disease, she was quite depressed and lost of the depression. So her friend given her an idea that when she can make 1,000 of cranes, then god will be happy, and that she can ask for any wish from the god. Her friend proceeded to teach her to make the crane. It wasn't easy, but when Sadako mastered it, she began her quest to make 999 more. She resolved to be brave, and making the cranes took her mind off her illness. When she'll make cranes, then her mind will get out of from the illness, and she'll concentrate her mind in making that cranes. That is why maybe this could be the reason that her friend suggested her to make cranes, so that she can has in making cranes and can forget about her illness. Sadako made her wish to get well so she could run again and started making the cranes. Learning that her illness came as a result of war, Sadako spread a message of peace and love as she folded her cranes. Now she started folding her cranes so that soon she'll complete with her task, and she can ask for a wish from God. In need of paper, though she had plenty of free time during her days in the hospital to fold the cranes. She lacked paper, she would use medicine wrappings and whatever else she could scrounge up. This included going to other patients' room to ask to use the paper from their get well presents. Chisco would bring paper from school for Sadako to use. Crane by crane, she attracted the attention of the hospital staff and other visitors, and they provided her with X ray foil wrappers, magazine, and other papers for her project. As other patients showed interest, she stopped folding hers and taught them to make their own cranes. So that now, because she's following that old folk days, in the same way, she also suggested to other patients that they also start making their cranes. Soon she had folded hundred of cranes, her health improved, and she was allowed to go home. She still had to rest, but she could be home. But by the time she had made 600, she was clearly getting worse. After making crane 643, Sadako realized that she was dying. Now she was making crane, but soon after, when she came back to home, she realized that her health is getting deteriorated. Lying weakly in her hospital bed, she started to cry, knowing that she would never run again. But then she remembered that she didn't want sadness to win. She wanted to love to win. So she sat up, asked for another piece of paper, made one more crane. As she finished the crane, she made a second wish and wrote that wish on the wings of her crane, peace, and prayed that her crane would fly over the whole world and proclaim, this is our cry, this is our prayer, peace for the world. Around mid October, her left leg became swollen and turned purple. After her family urged her to eat something, Sadako requested tea on rice and remarked, delicious. Those were her last words. Now, student, can you see that this is a kind of an emotional story? It is a story about a 11-year-old Sadako Sasaki who lives along with her mother, father, siblings in Hiroshima, Japan. Sadako is a born runner who dreams of joining her junior high school's racing team next year. She approaches everything in life with excitement and positivity and is constantly on the lookout for good luck signs and other small auspicious detail in the world around her. On Peace Day, an annual festival in remembrance of the victim of the atom bomb that was dropped on the city 9 years before at the end of World War II. Sadako joins her family and her best friend Chisco at the Peace Park to mourn the dead and celebrate the life that still goes on in Hiroshima. With less than 700 games completed and with her family around her, she lapsed into a coma and died on the morning of October 25, 1955, at the age of 12. When her classmates realized that she had not been able to complete her dream, they all decided to learn how to fold the remaining 356 crane so that she could be buried with 1,000 paper cranes. Soon the crane were completed. Now, cranes in flight. The children decided to write to other children all over Japan to tell them of the story of Sadako and ask them to contribute money for a monument in her and all of the children who had died from the effects of the atomic bomb and to spread her message of peace. Yes, with the crane is supposed to be international peace sign, and so the all over the friends of Sadako Sasaki spread all over the message that everyone should make a crane so that their wish come true, and then gradually it became a sign of peace. When the Japanese government learned of this plan, they decided to rename a park in Hiroshima Peace Park. There they erected a huge statue with a replica of Sadako holding up a giant crane. Her classmates were given the honor of deciding what to write on the base of the statue. Now, can you see that the government had made a statue in remembrance of. Now, with this base of the statue, it is the remembrance for the peace and for the, for the disease leukemia which Sadako Sasaki was suffering. Now let's continue further. This is what they choose. This is our cry. This is our prayer. Peace in the world. Every year on August 6th, Peace Day, thousands of paper cranes are placed on the statue dedicated to Sadako. Today, her brother Mashiro Sasaki, pictured with his young sister as young children, and his son Yuji continue her mission of peace. Can you see the picture? In this picture, Sadako Sasaki is there and her brother Mashiro Sasaki. Her brother is guided by what President Kennedy said in a speech to the UN General Assembly in 1961 about the potential for destruction posed by nuclear war. Mankind must put an end to war, or war will put an end to mankind. Now, this is a quote which is, which is said on the base or post by a nuclear war, that mankind must put an end to war, or war will put an end to mankind. Yes, student, it is very true that if will not end the war, then one day war will end humankind. Comparing versions, Mashiro was only 4 years old and his sister was 2. When the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima in the morning of August 6, 1945, its blinding flash, the Pika Japanese for blinding light, followed by the boom or dawn, is forever etched in his memory. Through his eyes, he described that morning with the help of Japanese journalist Naofumi Okamoto and told his sister's tale in the following way. Mashiro and his 2-year-old sister Sadako were at home with their mother and grandmother that morning. Just over a mile from ground zero, their father had already left for work. It was a beautiful morning, blue sky, not a cloud, said Mashiro. His grandmother called them inside, saying it's time for breakfast. Now it is, his brother is, narrating Sadako Sasaki's story, that he is approximately 2 years old, and his sister Sadako Sasaki is approximately quite young. They are 2 years or more than young guys, and they are at home along with their mother, grandmother, and they are just enjoying the. And their father was going for a work, and it was like a beautiful, happy morning, blue sky, not cloud, and his grandmother called them for the breakfast. They never heard an airplane or an air raid warning. Just as they sat down on the tatami mats near the kitchen of their modest 2-story home and started to eat, the blast came in. When they are having a breakfast, then immediately some kind of blast come. He said, we were pushed to the wall and I was underneath the table covered by the tatami mats, said Mashiro. Now he said that he was under the table, and he suddenly some kind of shock came, and they uh, immediately tripled, and they scattered somewhere and saving themselves. His mother and grandmother were also still inside and appeared to be unhurt, but 2-year-old Sadako was missing. She had been blown outside the house and was sitting on a box in the yard. Her clothes were burned and torn. She was dashed but not injured. No one understood how she ended up there, he said. They didn't know what had happened. The blue sky had turned a very dark and forbidding grey, and it was suddenly quite hot. His mother and grandmother decided to leave the house and take the children to a nearby river. They hoped the bridge there might provide cover from another blast. Now her mother is trying to save her kids, and so they hopped the bridge there so that they can hide from another blast. Along the way, they saw the smoke from the many fires that were now burning throughout a city that had been turned into a charmed landscape. But it's the human toll he remembers most, especially a woman they walked by who was holding a dead baby in her arms. He said, now it is he's just narrating that the scene was so emotional, so detroiting, that a mother is carrying a baby who is dead. There were people with their skin peeling off, and they were totally in shock. Means they even know, they are the innocent people, they even know that why this war has been done, why they have thrown this nuclear bomb. When they reached the river bank, he saw lots of dead bodies floating by and people jumping in to cool off and dying. Their grandmother decided to go to back up to the house. The children never saw her again, but a few days later, their father found her body in the well in front of their home. Now they have found the dead body of their grandmother in their well. Obviously, she wanted water badly, said Mashiro. Maybe she wanted a water, but when she was searching for water, maybe some kind of injury blast has taken away her life. A heavy, thick rain started to fall and cover them while they waited by the river, not knowing where to go or what to do. This was the black rain that formed as a mix of aerated debris from the fires, whipped together by the tremendous heat and air currents fueled by these raging firestorms throughout the city. Now, this is a black rain, students. Why? Because it is covered with irritated debris and the fire which has come out from the heat, air currents. It is the combination of these elements, and then it has been named as black rain. The whole family was exposed to a massive amount of radiation from this dark, thick, and dangerous radioactive water. Breathing or swallowing the water or any food as it touched could result in radiation poisoning, but there was no escaping it. And if they didn't eat, they would starve. Now the situation is so difficult that they are hungry also, they want to eat also, but if they'll touch anything, then there is a problem of radiation poisoning. Student, can you see that nowadays also we are facing a same problem, this COVID-19? You cannot go anywhere, you cannot touch anything, you have to wear mask and you have to take a lot of precaution, you have to use sanitizers all the time. Why? Because this is a type of that virus which is strongly communicable. In the same way, radiation poisoning is also the same issue. They are so disastrous, though so harmful, that they cannot eat also, they cannot touch anything, because easily they can have that radiation poisoning. They had nothing to eat and were almost naked because their clothes had been burned by the blast, said Mashiro. No one knew what had happened or where to go. After being there for about 5 hours, they saw a friend coming down the river in a boat. He pulled over and they had to decide if they should wait for their grandmother to return. They climbed aboard. It was a miracle, remembered Mashiro. Mashiro, he remembered that one of his friend came coming near to him, and he's having a boat, and now they are deciding that they should wait for a grandmother or should not. They smiled for about for 4 hours and finally found a community shelter. Their father eventually found them and the family was reunited. It would take years for things to begin to return to normal. Now, when to control this situation, it would take years. Yes, student, I'm taking an example of COVID 19 because this is the current situation through which we are also facing. So you can understand this chapter in an easy way. And definitely, as we all are suffering from COVID 19, our economic condition, our country is going to be stable. It will take many years. In the same way, to stable Japan, it would also taking a lot of 9 years to to come up with this issue. Like so many of their friends, Masahiro and his sister Sadako put the horrors of that day behind them. She grew into a vibrant young woman, an outstanding runner who excelled at gymnastics. She was a bit of a tomboy with a good nature. She had an active life and dreamed about her future. Of course, her older brother always did his best to annoy her. Though they both thought they were fine, but in October of 1954, just short of 10 years after the bomb exploded, his sister noticed she had swollen lymph nodes and was sent to the doctors at the American Ren Atomic Bomb Casualty Commission. They diagnosed her as having leukemia brought on by the radiation. The disease progressed rapidly. She was confirmed to the hospital just 1 month later. Her parents never told her she had leukemia, and she never told them that she knew. They all wanted to protect the feelings of each other. Now they are just, they don't want to emotionally make her emotionally hurt, so they hide her problem. She knew that the prognosis wasn't good and she didn't want to die. Her father told her a Japanese legend that said if you folded 1,000 paper cranes, you would be granted a wish. She began furiously folding cranes. She made thousand and started on a second batch. Her classmates, family, and friend pitched in, but unfortunately, she was only able to fold 644 more cranes and died October 25, 1955. Not quite a year after being diagnosed, she put up a brave front until the end. She only cried once. Her symptoms were getting worse and worse. She asked her mother to stay with her overnight. She had never asked her mothers to stay in the hospital with her, but her symptoms were getting unbearable and she couldn't eat anything. Her mother held Sadako close to her chest as one would hold a newborn baby and told her daughter story after story. But the next morning Sadako's mother had to go to work. Sadako dragged her pained body and her legs to the front of the elevator. She knew this was the last time she would see her mother. Sadako understood she would soon die, but she told her mother she was fine and to go to work. As she elevator doors closed, Sadako began to cry. She died that day. Now she's having a kind of a feeling that she's going to die, so that is why she's not letting her mother to go. But when she find that her mother is has to go for a work, so she let her go and she said that she'll manage anyhow. Her classmates continued the folding and created 356 more cranes, so that she was buried surrounded by 1000 cranes. Now, can you see her classmates and friends are so cooperative and so helpful towards her? Spreading her words. Mashiro hopes we can learn a lesson from Sadako's short life. Her death gave us a big goal. Small piece is so important with compassion and delicacy. It will become big like a ripple effect. She showed us how to do it. It is my and the Sasaski's family's responsibility to tell her story to the world. I believe if you don't create a small piece, you can't create a bigger piece. I like to gather those good wishes and goodwill and spread to the world, said Mashiro. As part of his goal to spread Sadako's message, Mashiro presented one of the last origami cranes she folded to the USS Arizona Memorial on September 21st, 2013. Folding paper, folding peas. Folding a paper crane is like making peas. Some of the steps are awkward. At first, it may seem impossible. There is definitely more than one route. Patience and consultation are helpful, and the result, big or small, is a thing of beauty. Now, student, I hope you have understood the chapter. This chapter is quite interesting and quite emotional. Hope you have understood the story of Sadako Sasaki. She's the young girl, how she conquered from the problem that she was facing and the issue which was created during the war. Student, I hope you have understood the lines and the story. This is a story about thousand cranes and Sadako. The US carried out two atomic bombings against Japan, Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, and Nagasaki on August 9, 1945. Within the first 2 or 4 months of the attack, the victim included approximately 90,000 to 1 lakh in Hiroshima and approximately 60,000 to 80,000 in Nagasaki. People were killed instantly or suffered lasting burns. Most were affected by disease due to radiation exposure. The Children Peace Monument is located at the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park in the city of Hiroshima. A representation of Sadako is a memory for the structure where she holds a crane. After the statue was completed, her story began to gain popularity and became known as the story of Sadako and the paper cranes. This happened after the Austrian journalist Robert Jung visited Hiroshima in 1956 and heard her story, prompting him to retell the story in a book. Now this is a story of a girl who is approximately 11 years old, and how did she come out from that war, that illness, leukemia, and her survival, her death, her problems, and her story gained popularity when her monument was built in Hiroshima. It is a Children Peace Monument, which is a representation of peace and peace and the quality and the dedication towards the country. I hope, student, you have understood with the chapter. This chapter was quite interesting. And on my next video or PPT, you can say, I have given you question answers along with word meaning. You all have to write word meaning, question answers, and introduction of the chapter, neat and clean handwriting. Thank you. Keep watching my videos.